Israel bombed central Beirut in the early hours of Thursday, killing at least 6 people after its forces suffered their deadliest day on the Lebanese front in a year of clashes against Hezbollah. Israel said it conducted a precise air strike on Beirut targeting a building in central Beirut's Bashoura neighborhood, which is close to the Lebanese Parliament and United Nations Regional Headquarters. The multi-story building, house a Hezbollah-affiliated health center. This is the first Israeli strike so close to the center of Beirut. Huge dark cloud of smoke covered Beirut after Israel launched 3 air raids on its suburbs in the third wave of strikes against the Hezbollah in a span of 24 hours apart. From that, 3 missiles hit the southern suburb of Deir where Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah was killed. Last week on Wednesday, the Lebanese health ministry said 46 people were killed and 85 others were injured in Israeli strikes across the country. 1,928 people have been killed in Lebanon since IDF and Hezbollah began trading cross-border fire following the October 7 Hamas attacks on Israel. Lebanon's Prime Minister Najib Mikati has called for an immediate ceasefire in the region. He also urged to fill a 2-year-long presidential vacuum in Lebanon, electing a consensus president.
Calling for an immediate ceasefire and initiating the steps that the government has announced its commitment to implement Security Council Resolution number 1701 and sending the Lebanese army to the south of Lani River to carry out its full duties in coordination with the peacekeeping forces in the south in order to protect Lebanon with the continuation of Israeli aggression and ambitions.
On the other front, 3 civilians were killed and 3 others were wounded in an Israeli airstrike on Syria's capital Damascus on Wednesday. The Israeli airstrike targeted a residential building in the Misa suburb in western Damascus, which is home to security headquarters and embassies. Meanwhile, Israeli Defense Forces say central Israel's Biyam was targeted in part of an overnight drone attack, though no injuries have been reported in the strikes as one drone was shot down and the other one landed in the open air in South Lebanon. 8 IDF soldiers were killed in ground combat as Israeli forces pushed into the region. ASB said its fighters engaged Israeli military inside Lebanon and destroyed 3 Israeli Mava tongues with rockets near the border town of Maroun Arash. Israeli army released a video showing its soldiers carrying out operations in southern Lebanon. The video, with a caption reading Division 36 activity in southern Lebanon, showed soldiers advancing up a hill through vegetation and going up the stairs of a building. According to Israeli military, regular infantry and armed units joined in grounds operations in Lebanon. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a condolence video, said Israel is at the height of a difficult war which the country will win together.
I would like to send the condolences from the bottom of my heart to the families of our heroes who fell today in Lebanon. May their memory be blessed and they rest in peace. We are at the height of a difficult war against Iran's axis of evil which wants to destroy us. This will not happen because we will stand together, and with God's help we will win together.
Meanwhile, the U.S. State Department said about 100 American citizens and family members have left Lebanon on a flight contracted to the Consul airline.
Today we were able to organize a flight from Beirut to Istanbul to allow other American citizens to leave. It's been a priority for us to enhance the capacity of flights in and out of the region, so we've contracted with additional care carriers to facilitate the transport of American citizens.
Furthermore, a charter flight taking British citizens out of Lebanon arrived at Birmingham International Airport on Wednesday. British Foreign Minister David Lammy says that more such flights were planned in the coming days, and joining us on the phone is our correspondent Gad Francis from Beirut. Gad Francis, good to hear you and good to have you with us in this broadcast. Three things we are reporting: that there was an attack in Bashoura district and residents there have reported smell in the city. We also understand that the Lebanese Prime Minister Mikati has called for a ceasefire, and then we have Britain and the United States evacuating their citizens. Could you keep us up to date with what is happening in Lebanon?
In the past few days, all the measures were flipped and changed and turned after the assassination of the chief of Hezbollah. Things on the ground changed. First of all, the Israelis changed the momentum. They have no red lines anymore in attacking Beirut residential areas. First, they started with the Beirut southern suburb, which is known to be the community of civilians and people living around. They are voters who vote for Hezbollah. We have to differentiate in the Lebanese community that this is a political party that is represented in the parliament, so you find millions of Lebanese that could be quote-unquote affiliated as per the Israeli standards. Last night, the attack on Bashoura was a new expansion of the Israeli strikes. It was accelerated in terms of measure and a geographic spots. Bashoura is in the central Beirut area. The health center is called the Islamic Relief Center. It is not a Hezbollah or affiliated with Hezbollah by any report or by any way. There was no warning, and it is in the middle of a bustling residential area that is now even more populated due to the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Lebanese, also as reported and shot with videos that were circulating all around social media and groups among Lebanese. There was a white material in the air, and it could be that white phosphorus was used. This is an internationally banned a weapon. Also yesterday, ships were involved, not only airstrikes, so we could see that the Israeli strikes on Lebanon have been accelerated and expanded in shape and frequency. But on the other side, in southern Lebanon, the Israeli ground invasion has been going through trials and errors. Hezbollah reported to have ambushed them in more than 6 to 7 places in the past few days. In the latest yesterday, there was first an ambush for a few soldiers in the around 9 a.m. and then the commanders came into another village on the southern borders, and another ambush by Hezbollah was able to attack them, and the video was released by the group on social media and on their media platforms of these operations. And then third, there was another trial of a tank Mireva. 3 Mavas were also obtained or hit by Hia. So what's happening in southern Lebanon at the borders is also another shape and form of this exchange. Meanwhile, on the diplomatic side, Eric, while this is happening, while tit for it is happening in the actual battlefield is in operation right now, the talks of the ceasefire are also more consistent and more pressing. So in the latest, the French are on the line and the Americans are on the line, and the Speaker of the House Nye is the one mediating, speaking on behalf with Hezbollah and the Lebanese people, and also the Lebanese political parties and the government on one side, where we have the foreign minister of Lebanon speaking also and consistently calling for a ceasefire and reporting on what the latest has been a deaf issue by the French talks or the American talks. But in the end game, on the ground, the group that is leading this quote-unquote resistance war, as per the Lebanese people, it is the one that sets the measures, and I think regardless of what's happening in the diplomatic lobbies, all eyes are on the ground, and nothing changes. Before his assassination, the late leader of Hezbollah told his people and his fighters and his organization that he would not stop until a total ceasefire and the war in Gaza stops. So I think what we're looking at here in West Asia is a full ceasefire or none at all. Thanks for watching this video.